Hello there, very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us here on M7, My Mind Matters. My name is Paul Becque from engagewithsuccess.com. Then let me make it clear what we do tonight. It's a workshop that I offer free of charge every Monday evening, and it's really about helping you take control of your mind. And tonight is a very special edition of the podcast, the broadcast, because many friends and colleagues recently got made redundant. So I'm dedicated to everyone that worked at Ideal World. And if you are struggling, which is very, very understandable, if you're fearful, if you're scared, if you're unable to eat because you feel so bad, whatever experiences that you're going through at the moment, whichever emotional turbulence that you might be experiencing at the moment, then tonight is designed to help you calm down. And the whole reason of calming down is that you can think more clearly, make better decisions, and find the energy and will to move forward. Because although it may not seem it right now, there is the opportunity to come out the other side of this with a much better life, in a much better position, much happier than you are right now. So ultimately, I'm going to be addressing two things. There's the inner critic and the inner coach. And these two inner voices will be nattering away all day long. Now, when you were at work, you might be bitching about the place that you work at, or if you're in adversity, let's not just make this about redundancy, but if you have been struggling, then prior to that, you might still have had negative self-talk and then some positive self-talk, and you can balance the books. But once everything goes the wrong way, once everything falls apart, once you are facing severe adversity, and in this case, redundancy, then it's very easy for the negativity to come through far, far stronger. And that will just hold you back. That will just pull you down. That will just make you feel worse than ever. And that means that even when you go for interviews, you might be so stressed out, so uncomfortable that you don't perform to your best in the interview. And so you could miss out on work opportunities. So there are three things that we share tonight. And this is a workshop because I'm a big fan of the fact that you get to experience what I'm talking about. It's not like a podcast where you just hear somebody talking and telling you what to do. I want you to participate. So I use the live platforms because I cannot see you. I don't know how many people are there, whether it's 20 or 100 or 1,000. I don't know. But the fact is, I get the opportunity to share this information with you, which is going to give you the opportunity. Let me just grab my source of music, which is going to give you the opportunity to experience what these techniques can do. And ultimately, it's all about mind mastery. It's about taking control of your mind. It's about being able to put down the inner critic and lift up the inner coach and being able to follow those positive ways forward rather than negative ones, which might keep you at home, might stop you from even looking for work. You're just feeling so bad that it's hard to move on. Now, I will share with you a couple of episodes from my own life because I don't want you to think that, oh, it's all right for him, he's doing okay. I've been through all of this myself. I used to work on cruise ships. Many of you will already know that. I did that for 18 years, and I got fired on occasion, not because I was crazy, not because I was stupid, but because, well, I'll give you one example rather than have you guessing. Let me give you one example. There was a tour guide. That's somebody that brought on a group of people. I don't remember the number now, maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 100 or more. I don't remember. But the fact was, she was giving everyone a very, very difficult time, upsetting people, the wine stewards, upsetting the stewardesses, upsetting my staff. Lots of people were upset. Very, very demanding. And so eventually I called her out on it, and that offended her. She complained about me. And then I got called to the bridge, and the captain said, "You better apologize." I said, "There's no way I'm apologizing. She's awful." And then they called the main office, and then the office called me and said, "You need to apologize." Well, I was stubborn. I was belligerent. So you can argue I deserved it. I could have apologized. I could have said sorry, but I didn't. I wanted to stand by my inner being. I wanted to stand by my thoughts. And so they said, "If you don't apologize, we're going to get you off the ship today." And that was in Rhodes, Greece. So they literally had me pack my stuff and dumped me on the pier and sailed away. And there I was left in Greece, which was part of the EU at the time. So it wasn't a big deal. Obviously, it'd be more difficult to do that today. Let's think of another one. Here's another one for you. I used to work at Bid TV. Some of you may or may not remember Bid. It was a fun place to work. I really enjoyed it. I had 8 years there in total. And after I'd only been there for 2 years, just 2 years I've been there. Yeah, 2 years. I'd been asking for more money. I needed more money. I had kids. I think I only had 2 at that point, but I needed more money and I couldn't get it. So I started doing other work on the side. Now, because I was staff there, I wasn't allowed to do any other work. And eventually it caught up with me. I got called out on it. And I was advised that I should just plead ignorance. I'm stupid. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. But again, that brain of mine wouldn't let me do it. I was like, no, no. I don't know how old I was then. Almost 40, maybe. Almost 40. It must have been almost 40 then. And so I said, no, I wouldn't do it. And I got let go immediately. So I was fired again. And there I was, gone. And at that time, we just moved home. I just bought my first house in London. We'd had a flat prior to that. We'd gone to this house. And there was all sorts of skullduggery. And I just had to stay calm, because if I hadn't, I would have fallen apart. I would have melted. And within 7 days, I got a job. I had money coming in. That kept me going until about a week after, maybe a month later. So I did this. I was working for an agency, and I was just selling knives and demonstrating knives in supermarkets. I was stacking Walker's crisps in supermarkets. I was handing out nectar cards at supermarkets, anything to keep the money coming in and make sure I did not lose my house. And it paid off. And about a month later, I got myself into recruitment, and then I started making a shed load more money than I had been, which turns into a really funny story, because I end up making more money than that by going back into television. So I've got some stories, and I do understand what this can feel like. So if you are facing something that's really unsettling, something that's making you feel completely and utterly uncomfortable, and you are pooing your pants, I've been there. So please don't think that I'm just talking airy fairy and I have no idea what this feels like. I really, really do. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 techniques tonight which can help you to calm down and get yourself into a better place mentally, emotionally, ready to move forward. And I'll explain throughout the presentation why that is helpful. So the first technique I'm going to share with you is breath work. And that really is breathing. As simple as that. It's breathing, but it's conscious breathing. It's breathing at a pace that helps you to calm down and think more clearly. I'll talk you through all of that. If this is all new to you, don't worry, I'll talk you through all of it. Then we go into mindfulness. And mindfulness, I'll share several techniques which are going to give you the opportunity to become mindful at any point of any day. Sometimes you can do it with your eyes open, so you can even do it in front of other people. You can be chatting to somebody and they wouldn't even know that you're doing it. But you're holding yourself back. You're holding your composure. You're staying in charge of your mind. And that means that the inner critic can stay down and the inner coach can thrive and come through. And then finally, we go on to meditation. Now, I'm aware that when people hear the terms mindfulness and meditation, they often think that this is esoteric, that this is kind of out there, it's a bit hippie-like, but that is not the case whatsoever. And in fact, there's more and more and more research that proves that all of this type of work is really helping people. And so if you are struggling, whatever it may be, whether it is a relationship, whether it's finances, whether it's work, whatever the situation, this stuff can help you. Okay, so let's go on to breath work. Really, really simple, straightforward. I want you to get comfortable in the chair. Make sure you're comfy. Shrug your shoulders up and down if you need to. Just let off any easy negative energy that might be surrounding you. Put your feet on the floor. Put your hands on top of your legs. And then when you're ready, just close your eyes and get comfortable. And once you've closed those eyes, what I'm going to want you to do is take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold on to it for a moment and let it out through your mouth. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to ask you to breathe in again, this time for 5, breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe at your own pace. Try to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, just as is comfortable for you. And whilst you're doing that, let me just remind you that when facing adversity or redundancy, whatever it may be, incorporating these techniques into your life can be transformative. That's not an exaggeration. It can really transform your emotional state, and it can help you to think to a much clearer degree. It can equip you with tools that cultivate emotional resilience. It can help you manage your stress levels. It can certainly help you with anxiety. It's going to help you with self-awareness. And ultimately, it's going to build resilience into what you're doing. So by embracing tonight's techniques, these will help you to navigate through uncertain times. And you can do that with grace. I often talk about being in a state of grace. And that's exactly what we'll do tonight. You can emerge from this, just even tonight, these 50 minutes that I get to spend with you. You can emerge stronger. You can forge forward on a path towards a brighter and more fulfilling future. So let these techniques, the breathing, the mindfulness, the meditation, let them be guiding lights. Let them empower you to thrive even in the face of adversity and redundancy. So now I want you to put your hand onto your chest. Breathe in through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should feel your chest filling with air. Hold on to it for a few moments. And then as we release it for 5, feel the chest go back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now put your hand onto your belly and feel the air coming in there. Should be more air in your belly because you want to pull the air in right into your stomach, push the diaphragm down. It's far more powerful. Let's do that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in and out at your own pace now. Now, as we go through these techniques tonight, usually because I'm offering a guided meditation, whether it's breathing, mindfulness, or the meditation itself, because I'm guiding you, generally I can keep your attention, and that will be helpful for you. When you try to do this on your own, you might find that your mind wanders a lot. And in fact, when we go into mindfulness, when we go into the meditation tonight, you could find, especially with the emotional journey that you're on at the moment, your mind may wander. Do not feel like you failed. If that's the case, if your mind goes off on a tangent, starts thinking about an interview you've got, or a job that you've got to go for, or an email you've got to send, or you just start thinking about how sick you feel, as soon as you recognize that, just bring your attention back to where we are now. This does take practice. In fact, all of these techniques I'm sharing with you tonight are called practice. Breathing is a practice. Mindfulness is a practice. Meditation is a practice. And you only get better at this by practicing. Now, with your eyes still closed, breathing in nicely through the nose and out through the mouth, just for a moment, imagine how you'd feel when things turn around. Imagine how you'll feel when you do get invited for work. Imagine how you'll feel when you do get an income again. Because it's very easy to be focused on all the negativity and all the things that can go wrong. And what we've got to do is change that. What we've got to do is get you thinking positively of all the possibilities that do exist. And you've got to reach out for all of those possibilities. Leave no stone unturned. And ask yourself at any point, does this feel good? Do I want to go for this? Is this a good idea? And if you think it is, then go for it. Don't hold back. Don't be fearful. Fear is the worst thing to have at the moment. We often use the acronym false expectations appearing real. And that really can be what happens. People become terrified, fearful that they may lose their house. They won't make any money. And this is not going to help you move forward. This is going to put you into a state where you may be frozen. You can't even get out of bed because you feel so sick and ill. And I've been there too. When I first left the cruise ships, 20 years ago now, I gave myself a year to get off the ships and into TV. And I built up a huge debt. A debt of £50,000. And that was scary. I remember laying in bed, looking at the moon at night, thinking, how am I going to get out of this one? Here I go again. I've done it again. And here we are years later. And everything's just fine. Everything is always working out for me. And it can always work out for you too. That's the importance of this state of mind. So the beauty of the breathing exercise is that you can do it any time. You can get up in the morning and do it. When you're going to bed, if your mind starts to wander, goes back to all the negative things, all the fears that you've got, then take a moment to breathe deeply and focus on your breath. If you are at an interview and you're starting to get panicky before you go in, take the opportunity to go into the bathroom, into the loo, and take some deep breaths. Help yourself to become in charge of your mind. Help yourself to become in charge of your emotions, because all of this can be done, but it takes practice. Okay, let's finish the breathing. I want you to end now with a few what we call fire breaths, and that's simply breathing in and out quickly through the nose. And I'll give you a count, and then we just breathe like this. And we do it for 10, 11, 12, 15 times, something of that nature. And this will really help you to feel the air, the oxygen going into your body, and you can feel better just from doing this. So I'm going to try to give you as many techniques as possible to feel better about your situation. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Well done. Let's do it one more time on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, bringing that to an end right now. Take one final deep breath in through the nose. Hold on to it for a moment. And let it out through the mouth. And as and when you're ready, open your eyes and just feel comfortable. Okay, now that may have helped you feel more comfortable, more relaxed immediately. Some of you say, I need more than that. Well, we're going to be working on that. We're going to go into mindfulness next. I like to do it in this order because for me, the breath work is the best way to start. And you take a deeper dive by going into the mindfulness, which can start with the breathing techniques, and then you go into other ideas. And then finally, the meditation can be all of these put together. The meditation can take 20 minutes. You can do half an hour if you wanted to. Generally, I tend to do 10 or 15 minutes. And the earlier in the day, the more powerful I find it. So if you can start your day, even if it means getting up 15 minutes earlier, sitting at a desk or sitting in a comfortable chair and taking the opportunity to see how you would like the day to go, imagining it in your mind's eye, this can change everything. But we'll get to that shortly. Let's go to mindfulness now. Now, I know some people will know that term and say, I've heard of it. What is it? It really is an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with the current moment. It's so easy for us to allow our minds to run away and see all the worst things that could possibly happen. And if you're wondering why it does that, that is very, very natural. And we have two parts of the brain, you know that, two halves of the brain. And sometimes we even hear this term, oh, we only use 10% of the brain. That's untrue. We use all of the brain. We use all of the brain. But it all works for different things. Generally, when people tell me they've heard that, oh, you only use 10% of your brain, it's you only use 10% of your faculties of the mind. And these are things that we can practice with, we can work with, and we can improve our ability to use them. So instead of using, let's say, the 10% of your faculties of the mind, you expand them. You start to embrace them. You start to use them. It'd be a little bit like having a car and just doing the same journey every day. You got a car, you can go anywhere you like, but you just do the same journey to work and the same journey back. Same journey to work, the same journey back. And maybe at weekends you pop to the shopping mall and get some stuff. That's it. That's all you ever do. But you could get in your car and drive all over the UK. You could drive to the Lake District. You could drive all the way down to the West Coast. You could drive up to Scotland. There's all these opportunities available to you, but you don't necessarily do them. And that's really what this is about tonight. This is available to you. Breath work, mindfulness, meditation is going to help you to use more of that mind than you have been. So let's go into the mindfulness. Close your eyes, put your hands on your legs, get comfortable. Again, start breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the mindfulness. We'd like to talk about lots of different techniques. It's easy to use the 5 senses to access your emotions. It's easy to use the 5 senses to bring yourself back into the current moment, the present moment. It's easy to bring yourself back and get reconnected. So let's just talk through a few of those. Breathing can be considered to be mindfulness. So there's one technique already. But now just think about visualization. With your eyes closed, start to think about some of the things that you saw today. What comes back to your mind? What can you remember? Some people are awesome at this. Some people are awful at this. It doesn't matter which you are. It's just an opportunity to think. Now, you can do this with your eyes open. So if you find that you're struggling, you can't think of anything that happened today, anything in particular, anything you want to remember, then open your eyes and look straight ahead. What can you see? Is there a mirror somewhere? Is there a painting? Is there a piece of art on the wall? Is the wallpaper interesting? Have you got the laptop in front of you, a phone in front of you, iPad in front of you? Pick something in the room that you're in and look at it very, very closely. So, for example, right now I can see across the other side of this room wallpaper that looks like bricks. You just start to look at each and every one of those pictures of bricks, because that's all it is. They're just pictures, they're not real bricks. And start to notice all the little details, the shadows, the colors, and whatever it is that you're looking at, start to pay exquisite attention to it. Color can be a really good one. What is the color? If it's red, what shade of red is it? If it was yellow, is it more brown or more gold than it is bright yellow? Has it got hints of green in it? Is it a lime yellow? Just start to really pay attention to the color. And what about the texture? What does it look like? Is it smooth? Does it look like it's rough? Is it bumpy? Again, this is something you could do to ground yourself, to reconnect with the current moment. You could be in a restaurant and you could just look at something, look at a clock, look at a picture, look at a cup of coffee, stare at a menu. So many things you can do. One of my favorites is certainly to get out into the countryside. Look at trees. If you get the chance, lay down. If the ground's dry, lay down, look up into the sky. Look at the leaves, look at the branches. Here's another good one, the sky. Look at the clouds. Just pay attention to them. Let's continue our journey now. Let's go from sight to hearing. What can you hear where you are right now? Pay attention to the furthest sound away. What can you hear? The furthest sound away. Can you hear anything outside? Planes, traffic, people, animals, aircraft? It's pretty windy where I am right now. Maybe you can even hear the wind outside. I can see the trees moving around. I can't really hear it where I am. Now bring that attention inside the room you're in. What's the closest sound that you can hear? You may be able to hear the music in the background. But as I move that away, perhaps you can hear, maybe you can hear the television next door. Maybe you can hear family in the house. Maybe you can hear the people upstairs walking around. So many things that could be going on, and just pay attention to it. That's all you got to do. Pay attention to it. And then try to fill in some of the gaps. If it's somebody walking around upstairs, are they thundering? Are they walking carefully? What type of shoes might they be wearing? Maybe you saw them earlier. You know what shoes they're wearing. If you can hear a TV, can you make out what the program is? Okay, let's move on now to smell. This is one of the hardest ones. I'm useless at this. So this isn't something that I tend to go to. But my wife has a very keen sense of smell. I can't get away with murder, if you know what I mean. So right now, can you smell anything where you are? It might be food. Maybe someone's cooking. Maybe you can smell your own aftershave or deodorant. Maybe the room smells a bit musty. Maybe you've been working out in the garden today and you're all hot and sweaty. So many things it could be. Okay, let's move on to taste. Again, taste, this is an interesting one. I do love taste because taste could be something you could do when you're in a restaurant, a coffee shop, a cafe, and you just stop and pay attention to the moment. Take a sip of your coffee, your tea, your smoothie. Take a bite of a biscuit. Take a bite of the lunch, the dinner you're about to eat. And what can you taste? And often when we pay attention to these things, we taste far more than we ordinarily would. In fact, you can mindfully eat a meal. It will take you longer because you're paying far more attention, but you might even eat less than you would usually eat because it feels so good. And if you haven't got any food nearby, you could take the opportunity just to note what's going on in your mouth right now. Maybe you can still taste lunch. Maybe you had a snack and you can feel that in your mouth. And then we have one more sense to go for. That's a sense of touch. And this is one of my favorites because, again, you could be sat down in a chair in an interview, talking to somebody across the table, and you could literally have your hands on your legs and you could be feeling your trousers, your skirt, the fabric on your legs. Is it soft? Do it right now. How does the fabric feel? Or maybe you're in shorts and you can feel your legs. How do those legs feel? Are they hairy? Have they got bristles on? Do you wish you could shave them? Do you wish you had shaved them? Just pay attention to what's going on. Of course, it doesn't have to be hands on your legs. You could literally walk around your home and pick different things up and pay attention. I like to close my eyes when I use this technique. But it's very calming. It's very relaxing. It really helps you get in the moment. And again, the whole idea of this is that you will calm down, gain composure, and be able to move forward in the face of adversity or redundancy and not find it quite so overwhelming, not find it quite so emotionally challenging. So using any of these techniques tonight, they can really prove to be valuable assets, easy to learn, but also easy to forget. So if you don't practice them, if you don't do this on a regular basis, and I just offer this every Monday, I mean, it's not enough, really. You should be doing this every day if you can. And in fact, if that appeals to you, then I do have an app available that can help you do that. So feel free to reach out, info@engagewithsuccess.com. Let me know, info@engagewithsuccess.com. I have a program that you could participate in. With you tonight are effective approaches to managing stress. It can really help you to enhance your mental well-being. So right now, I imagine emotional resilience will be really powerful. And this mindfulness can teach us to acknowledge and accept our emotions, but most importantly, it's without judgment. And by observing our thoughts, by observing our feelings with non-reactivity, by not reacting to them, we create a space for self-compassion and self-care. Now, during redundancy, again, I've not been made redundant, but I've been fired on a few occasions. I shared that earlier. I've certainly faced my fair share of adversity. It's natural to experience a range of emotions. Fear is certainly one of those. Anger is another one that we often hear. And of course, sadness. And mindfulness allows you to acknowledge these emotions. Here's the important bit. Start to consider the fact that they are impermanent. They're not here forever. They are just transitory. Emotions come and emotions go. Hey, people fall in love and then they're not. They fall out of love. You know, people get angry and maybe you can recover from that quickly. Maybe you've been angry before and it lasts for days. It's impermanent. It comes and it goes. And you can develop resilience in the face of this adversity. You could turn this experience around and make it one of the best things that ever happened to you. I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I absolutely mean it. Okay, I'm going to bring this part to an end now because I want to move on to the meditation, which I believe will be really powerful tonight. So breathing in through the nose, hold on to it for a moment, let it out through the mouth. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes. If you need to, as you've been sat now for about 30 minutes, feel free to stand up and have a little stretch. Just get comfortable. If your bottom is dying, stand up for a moment and we'll move into meditation. So I hope it's becoming clear why these practices are important. Again, if you are being made redundant, if you're one of the people from Ideal World right now, there's a very good chance that your mind is running a million miles an hour. And often that's really negative. Often that's really like, what am I going to do? Am I going to get a job? I'm going to lose everything. And these emotions are debilitating. They can stop you from doing anything. They can stop you from jumping online. They can stop you from going out and interviewing. They can stop you from moving forward. Do not allow that to happen. Now, in the meditation tonight, I'm going to take the opportunity to do some visualization. And those visualizations are going to give you the opportunity to create a much brighter future for yourself. And ultimately, when I coach people, when I work with people, especially if they're going through career change, I will absolutely get them to work on creating a compelling future for themselves. What is it they want? Not just a job, not just money. What is it you want? What feelings do you want to experience? And I know for some of you right now, it would just be stability, because uncertainty can be terrifying. But what I want you to do is build a compelling future that's got draw power. It will draw you to it rather than pushing you toward it. Being pushed to do things is tough. Being pushed to do things, you can feel the resistance against it. But when something's pulling you, something's drawing you toward it, it's so much easier. Okay, we've done the breath work. We've now considered mindfulness, how we can get ourselves into the moment through all of our 5 senses. let's take a moment right now to move into the meditation. So again, I'm going to ask you to get in your seat, get comfortable. If you can, get your spine upright. Have a little stretch if you need to. Get very, very comfortable. And then settle into your seat. Get your feet nice and flat on the floor. Put your hands on your legs. And take a moment right now to listen to the music and just see where it takes you. Focus on the music. If your mind wanders and goes back to your concerns, your fears, your worries, just notice that and bring your attention back to the music. Taking nice deep breaths while you do that. Okay, before we move on and go into the meditation, I just want you to put a little smile on your face. I know that might seem tough. You might be saying, I don't want to do that. You need to do this. You've got to break the cycle that you're in. Break the cycle. Take charge. Overcome the adversity. Overcome the redundancy. Put a smile on your face. Think of happier times. Know that you can pull through this. Know that there are opportunities out there waiting for you to reach out. There is work. There are friends. There are contacts. There are opportunities. And you can draw those to you. You can make them available to you. You can put yourselves out there and go for them. Okay, I want you to imagine now a small sunshine about 4, 5, 6 inches in front of your eyes. A little sunshine about the size of, let's go for a ping pong ball. It's rotating, it's spinning around, and you can feel the heat. It's like a miniature sunshine. Feel the heat coming off of that ball, off of that miniature sun. And in fact, it's so bright you can see the light coming through your eyelids. It's really bright. You can feel the heat on your face. And the light that's coming off of that sun, it's gorgeous. It feels great. It feels amazing. Just think about this. The real sun, the sun is 93 million miles away. Actually, it's 93 million miles away. And yet you can sit in your garden or sit outside and feel the sun on your body. How epic is that? The world is amazing. And I know you may not be thinking that right now, but you need to find the amazement. You need to find the joy. You need to find the opportunities to just wonder what this is all about. Because life is epic. Hey, it's challenging sometimes. It's challenging. But you grow stronger from the challenges. You will come out of this better. So now, I want you to imagine the light coming from that little ball, that sunshine just in front of your eyes. Imagine that the rays of light are now settling on your eyelids. And it creates 2 pools of light. 2 pools of light building up over your eyelids. Very relaxing, very calming. Feels good. And now imagine the light starting to penetrate the eyelids and envelop the eyes. Literally, the heat, the warmth, the light wrapping itself all the way around your eyes. It feels great. It's very relaxing. Oh my goodness, that feels good. And if perhaps you have been at the computer all day, looking for work, looking for jobs, talking to friends, talking to people, seeking advice, writing your CV. There's so many things that you may be doing. Then take the opportunity right now to feel those eyes relaxing. Now imagine that light going up to the bridge of the nose. And from the bridge of the nose up onto the forehead. That light now coming up onto the forehead. And as it makes its way across the forehead towards the temples, imagine it massaging your forehead. Very calming, very relaxing. Feels great. Feels amazing. In fact, if you need to, put your thumbs on your temples and massage your forehead with your fingers. Just imagine it becoming a reality. Calming yourself down. Some self-compassion, some self-love. So, of course, all the uncertainty can be triggering significant amounts of stress and anxiety. Now we want to do the opposite. Now we want to take the opportunity to reduce that stress, reduce that anxiety, really begin to manage those overwhelming emotions. And by engaging in these breathing exercises, the mindfulness, the meditation, you can bring your attention to the present moment. You can relieve that stress and anxiety. And the more you practice this, the more powerful it becomes. And you will gain a sense of calmness and certainly equanimity. I did a whole podcast on this recently. Equanimity may have been last week. Equanimity, I always liken it to being a bit like a palm tree rather than a stoic oak tree that can get blown over in heavy winds. Like a palm tree bending in the wind, just moving around. And that's what you're going to do now. And so during this uncertainty, you might still find that you become clearer about what you want out of life. You become more focused. That's a big advantage. Okay, let's continue our journey. That light's on the forehead. Take it up onto the top of the head right now, onto your scalp, and imagine again fingers of light massaging your head. Maybe you've been to the hairdressers and they've given you a massage before they shampooed and conditioned your hair. Oh, it's good. It's so relaxing. It's probably the cheapest way to get a massage, to be honest with you. Now take the opportunity to take that light over the back of the head. Coming down the back of the head towards the neck. And if you are stressed out at the moment, if you are really struggling, if you are fearful or anxious, very good chance that a lot of that negativity is housed in your neck and your shoulders. So just move the neck around gently. You might hear it cracking. You might hear the stress coming out. Allow it to be released. Allow it to relieve itself. Let it be removed. Continuing the journey, taking that light now into the shoulders. Into the left and the right shoulder. Now we're going to focus on the right shoulder first. And then they're going to take that light down the right arm. So over the shoulder, coming down the top of the arm onto the biceps and the triceps. That light wrapping its way around the arm, making its way down to the elbow. Now from the elbow, coming down through the forearm. Now into the wrist. And in the wrist, bring it into the palm. And now imagine the light coming down through the thumb, and a beam of light comes thrusting out through the thumb. And now your index finger, your middle finger, the wedding band finger for many, and then finally the little finger. 5 beams of light coming out through the right hand side. Let's go to the left shoulder, taking it down now through that left arm, over the biceps and triceps, down towards the elbow. From the elbow into the forearm. And imagine in your mind's eye seeing the light wrap around your arm. Imagine feeling the light come down through the arm. Feel it in the wrist, into the palm of the hand, and now suddenly a beam of light thrusting out through the thumb, the left index finger, middle finger, wedding band finger, and finally the little finger. Now take your focus back to the back of the neck, just between the shoulders, and bring that light, that miniature sunshine, that gorgeous, loving, relaxing light up over the shoulders towards the front of the body. Now I want you to imagine that light making its way down over your torso, over your chest area, but also imagine it being able to penetrate the skin and go to the rib cage. Imagine that light now enveloping your heart. Feel the love, the warmth over the heart. It feels so good. Making your way down now towards the belly. Imagine that light making its way in and out of the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, down to the intestines, and finally down to your hips. Now take your energy once again to the back of your neck, and I want you to bring that energy down the spine, vertebra by vertebra, one bone at a time, one after the other, after the other. Gently making your way down the back of that spine. Almost like climbing down a ladder. Very relaxing. Feels good. Now halfway down. Continuing all the way down the back of the spine, down towards the very base of the spine, and then the tail of the spine. And now your energy reconnects at the hips and rotates all the way around the hips, round and round and round, feeling great. Very relaxing, very calming. Now bringing that further down the hips. Bring that light into the buttocks, into your bottom. Let's focus on the right hand side, right hand buttock. Now bring that energy forward, up and over the leg, over the hamstrings, over those big muscles at the top of the leg, making their way down towards the knee. Imagine that light now making its way around the knee. Again, this is a place where many people have aches and pains. It could be rheumatism, arthritis, sporting injuries, all sorts of things happen to the legs. Bring that energy now beyond the knee, down towards the calf and the shins, into the right ankle, round and round the ankle, into the heel of the foot, the flat of the foot, the arch of the foot, coming all the way forward now, and finally a beam of light coming out through the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, 5 beams of light coming out through that right hand foot. Now let's do the same with the left, coming down from the left buttock, bringing that energy forward into the hamstrings, the big muscles at the top of the leg, coming down through the leg to the knee, into the knee. Feel the energy, see the energy in your mind's eye, wrapping itself around the knee. Down beyond the knee now, onto the calves and the shins. Down towards the ankle, wrapping itself around the ankle, and now making its way into the ball of the foot, arch of the foot, flat of the foot, and now 5 beams of light coming out through the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. And now your entire body is submerged in this beautiful, loving, calming light. You are being cared for. From that little ball in front of the eyes, the light now coming onto the face, up over the top of the head, down through the back, through the arms, coming all the way down through the body, through the torso, into the hips, into the buttocks, through the legs, past the knees, down into the balls of the feet, and then finally out through the toes, and of course out through the arms and the hands too. Once again, put a little smile on your face, knowing that you are cared for, you are loved. And at this moment, just give yourself a little bit of self-love. Know that you are able to get another job. You are able to overcome this adversity. You are able to make your way through this. You can make a success of it. This is the opportunity you wanted to quelch the negative feelings. When you get overwhelmed with the fear, the anxiety, the stress, take a moment to close your eyes and push it out. And focus on the good thoughts, focus on the possibilities, focus on the way forward. Sit in the chair just for a moment, and in your mind's eye, see the light coming out of you, penetrating your body, coming out through the fingers, coming out through the hands, coming out through the toes. Oh my goodness, feel the energy in your body. It's uplifting, it's supporting, it's exhilarating. Feel the anticipation of your success. Feel the anticipation of getting that job, of getting that future that you're really after. Okay, whilst we're here, let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit there for a moment with your eyes closed, enjoying all the energy that's now in your body. Now, whilst you're there, I want you to imagine the networks that you've got, whether it's through LinkedIn, social media, phone numbers. Hey, don't forget to call people, maybe friends and family. Think of the networks and the relationships that you've got. Because these techniques tonight, the breath work, the mindfulness, the meditation, extends beyond your practice. And it can enhance social connections, especially during times of adversity. You might even want to consider joining a mindfulness group. You might want to consider spending time with people that do things of this nature. Share your experiences, gain insights, get emotional support. Hey, if you're really struggling, reach out to me. I always offer a 15-minute call, free of charge, a 15-minute strategy call. I'll happily do that for you. You can go to engagewithsuccess.com and I'll happily spend 15 minutes with you on the phone. You have got friends and family that can help. So right now, feel this guiding light throughout your body. Feel empowered for a moment and enjoy every second of it. I'm just going to give you a moment to really luxuriate, to really embrace these feelings of power. Okay, now as we come to the end of our meditation, I want you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you're comfortable, open your eyes. How do you feel? Some of you may have even fallen asleep. Hey, if that happened, do not feel bad. If you nodded off, you may well be tired. And you might say, well, I'm getting plenty of sleep right now. In fact, I've got nothing else to do. But the fact is, if you're emotionally challenged at the moment, that can be exhausting. All of these things are normal. You are not unusual. You need to pull everything together, everything you got. Feel the energy, the positivity in your body, and know that you can move forward. Reach out to everyone you know. Go down every avenue possible. And in fact, if you need some help, I've already said you can call me. That's info@engagewithsuccess.com. You can go to my website, engagewithsuccess.com. It tells you about finding a coach. You can see a little thing on there about reaching out, free strategy call. 15 minutes, we can chat and I can help you. But here's an exercise you might want to do. So get yourself a piece of paper. If you need to make a certain amount of money over the next month and you're thinking, how am I going to do this? Write down the amount of money and then write down all the things that you could do to bring that money in. All the things that you can do, and then make your way forward and go after them. Start to brainstorm, call other people. What are things that I've been meaning to do, I wanted to do? Write all of these things down. Don't discount any of them. Don't say, no, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Think about anything that you would do. And you may even come up with some new ones, things that you would never have considered before. You may even find that you changed career and you love the way that you move forward. So please don't look at this as a giant disaster. It's easy to do that. And it's understandable why you might do that. But that won't help. That will only disempower you. We all know stories of famous people, artists, actors, pop stars. They seem to have everything, right? And yet they're still miserable. They're still unhappy with their own lives. And it's all because of this. The way they're thinking, the thoughts they're having, the things that they expect from themselves or they think other people expect from them. And so all of these thoughts can really be crushing. And so I don't want you to end up in that position. I want you to take the opportunity right now to empower yourself and become as positive as possible and move forward. I'm going to bring this to an end. To all my friends and colleagues at Ideal World, good luck. I'm not really a fan of luck, I'll be honest with you. I don't believe in luck. I believe in taking advantage of everything that's going on and making it work for you, making it work for me. So take charge of this and move forward as quickly as you can. If you are looking for resources as well, if you would like some other ideas, again, go to my website, engagewithsuccess.com. I have a newsletter that comes out. I'll happily send that to you. It's free of charge every Sunday at 10 a.m. That might be helpful for you. There's a blog on there as well, which may be helpful for you. There's loads of movies on there, loads of books that I've read that I highly recommend. So there's all sorts of things. If you're looking for anything to help empower yourself and get through this adversity, get beyond the redundancy that you may not have expected, then I'm here to help. Be well. Take care. See you again very, very soon. And don't forget, this is every Monday at 7. That's what the M7 is for. Every Monday at 7, and your mind does matter.